Hey, it's Mountain Ghost 556. Okay, I'm going to show you guys some information. It may be useful to you, it may be not, but I'm going to put it out there anyways, and some of you guys can kind of decipher why it would be useful and why it wouldn't. I'll let you guys make that up for yourself. But first thing I want to show you is the Emergency Response Guidebook. This is the 2018 edition. I have the 2016. I don't know, it's in a vehicle somewhere. That's generally where you should probably keep it. But you should get the updated version. Always get the updated version of anything, any kind of a book that's technical, because there could be information missing from this that it has in the other one. That's enough said with that. It's generally geared towards first responders, but I don't think that that is the only target audience that it can apply to. So let's get on with the meat of this subject. We're driving down the road and we see this placard right here, okay? We've probably seen this placard, probably even seen this one, maybe, hopefully, if you don't live around one of those areas, you know, you don't really have to deal with seeing that one. So we're driving down the road, and this guy's rolling up next to us, this behemoth. Okay, this guy right here. Let me zoom in for you. That guy right there, okay? It's a non-pressured liquid tank. And he has, and we've all seen these. We've seen them at gas stations and truck stops all the time. And he has this particular placard on him. Okay, he's sitting right next to you and he's doing his thing. And now you've noticed that that's a tanker and it has this flammable placard on it. Well, what you're going to see is, and this is not, I'm not going to go into the orange numbers that are on the bottom. I'm just going to overview kind of how to use this manual. You're going to see some numbers right here. Okay. So you're going to look at it and you're going to think to yourself, okay, it's carrying gas. That's fine, you know, but you're assuming that this particular tanker is carrying gas because you've seen it everywhere. On the bottom of this flammable placard, it's going to have a number. And let's say, for instance, the number is 219, okay? That number is going to denote the substance that's being transported by that tanker. So how are you going to use this manual or this guidebook, however you want to call it? What you're going to do is there are going to be sections to it. And in those sections, they're going to be denoted by colors. So you've got 219. You've identified that this thing is a tanker. Okay, it's a tanker. Got that down because you've seen them everywhere. And you've identified that the placard has a flammable warning on it. So what's going to happen is, in this book, you're going to go to your yellow. Okay, you're going to go to your yellow index areas. Then you're going to have an ID number and a guide number, okay? So we've identified that it's a tanker truck. It's hauling some kind of material. We've identified that the material is flammable. Now we need to identify what exactly is this thing hauling? I mean, you know, that's good to know. So you're going to go to your ID number. And we said that the 219 on the placard is denoting its ID number. And that is the ID number, the 219. So we're in, right there, we're in 1013. So we got to go find 219. So let's go find 219. Okay, here we are, real quick, found it. Then you have to go through the whole lot of mess. So we're going to go through here. We got our ID number. We're going to go down this column. We're going to isolate it. Oh, we're going to isolate 219 is isopropyl alcohol. You'd be surprised, a lot of people think it's 203, which 203 is, what is 203? Gasoline. The ID number for that. A lot of people think, oh, that's just hauling gasoline. No, it's hauling isopropyl alcohol. Okay? Now, here's where it comes into your guide number. Your guide number is going to give you procedures and protocols in case there's a hazmat incident. So, big monster rolling down the road. He's carrying 219 and he's texting his girlfriend. Okay? He goes up and over a hill. You don't see him again. You go up and over a hill. The next time you see him, he's flipped over and he's broken in half. Okay, so you've identified that he's a tanker, he has a flammable placard, and he's carrying isopropyl alcohol. You'll immediately go, hopefully you stop, and you're not downwind, you'll immediately go to your guide number, isopropyl alcohol, 129. Then what you'll do is you will go to your guides. Okay? So, you've got isopropyl alcohol, 129. You'll go to your guide, and as you'll see here, you'll have a guide number at the top. You'll go to 129. We got 128 here. And bam! Here is your guides on how to handle and protective procedures and protective wear, public safety. So you have potential hazards. I'm going to knock that over. Public safety, emergency response. Okay, that's a quick overview on how to do this. You also have in the back here in the green section, which I'm not going to go all the way to it, you're going to have your, as you can see there, initial isolation and protective actions and distances. Okay, this is basically concentration. You have right here small spills, large spills, and it's going to give you feet from the concentration, then protect person's downwill, night, day. It's going to give you your vapor concentrations and distances from those concentrations and densities. So this is another part that you're going to want to know if you're doing that, but this is going to be for, I would say evacuation and stuff like that. So that's more of, for after the scene's been established, and then you need to really concentrate on getting personnel and people out of the downwind range. But that's kind of overview on how to use this. One of the things I like to do, me and my friend like to do, is like we travel down the highway and we like to identify placards and then kind of quiz each other. Okay, what is that? And how would you proceed with it? And what are the dangers? And just kind of quiz ourselves what would happen if, we did find that vehicle flipped over. Now, of course, you call 911. I don't suggest anybody that doesn't have proper training or equipment to even approach a hazmat scene. Matter of fact, if you're not even in law enforcement, firefighting, or hazmat or EMS, just leave it up to them. But in an SHTF situation, apocalypse, you might run across some of this stuff, and you might not know what it is. Is it isopropy? Is it gasoline? Is it anhydrous? So if you run across something like that and you're scavenging and you see these placards, it would be a good thing to know what you're dealing with in that area. I'm just throwing that out there as far as I can say that you might need it for a prepping situation. But an emergency response situation, if you are on a scene and you look it up and it's like, dude, hightail it as fast as you can downwind or fast as you can upwind. Okay, so that's pretty much that. Now, once the situation's been determined and first responders are on the scene, then the hazmats come in and he's calling for outside resources, which if there's a hazmat team already there, they're still going to call on other resources such as State Patrol and other hazmat teams. What's going to happen is you're going to have something come into place called your ICS. It's your Incident Command System. Now this right here is going to be the skeleton of any type of an emergency. It doesn't matter if it's a hazmat spill from something like that, if it's a tornado, a hurricane, a flood, or even a riot or civil insurrection, you're going to have, this is going to be the skeleton. Okay, now I see a lot of people, well, I don't see you, but there's going to be a lot of people looks at this and they're going to be like, oh, not those people. Hey, the system works. Just because the people don't know how to use it properly doesn't mean the system doesn't work. This was actually developed by firefighters in California to bring teams together that work in different areas that have different ways of doing things and put them all under one umbrella to make them function and organize better. Now, why I'm showing you this is because say you have different groups of people, and I'm going to say you have a community of people in different areas and they're used to doing different things. You can bring them together and have one structure that they can work efficiently under and know what's going on, because everybody's going to do things differently, and sometimes it's counterproductive. But if you work under one umbrella, then you can organize and basically put it into a more, would you say, efficient manner, more productive, getting the most out of the people and stuff. This is just the skeleton. The meat on it is ingenuity, intelligence, and productivity. Okay? Bringing people together under a type of incident command structure doesn't mean it's going to work all the way if the people don't follow under it. Okay? And then you put the flesh on it, which I said, intelligence, ingenuity, individual drive. Those things are going to help make this work. This is ICS 100, 200. I don't have any of the other manuals. I did all those in class, and you can do these online. These are free. You can go to the FEMA.org education or something. I'll leave a description I'll leave a link in the description box. But these are really good. Don't knock it. Just because it has these people on it, don't knock it. There's a lot of good organizations and agencies that use this. The USDA, that's kind of an interesting one. I'm not going to get into that. And then, well, then you have our buddies there. But like I said, this is really good. You can take the courses online. You can get a certificate. You can even go all the way up to getting a associate's degree. I would suggest take these, especially if you're planning on bringing groups of people together. You can even go as far as, hey, it even says this in the online version, hey, how to plan a family trip. It's very good. It organizes really well. You can go from 100 to 800. This is the 100 series. I've got 1, 2, 4, 7, and 8. I found them very valuable. Every single one of our emergency response agencies in large disasters and catastrophes relies on this system. The other reason why I wanted to bring this up is because this gives you an idea of what is actually going on. The federal government and local governments are awesome at looking like they're doing something when they're not. And, hey, okay, you can say, hey, you guys aren't doing this, you guys are doing that. It's not the way you set it up. So you get an idea of what's going on. So if you do go across a hazmat situation, or you're watching one of the most awesome mainstream medias the United States has to offer, and you look at it and you go, well, that's not how you set that up. So it gives you a glimpse into how things work and just how they're not doing them right. So these courses are free. I suggest take them. You can get a lot of information from them. You can organize. You never know. You might have to be a community leader during a disaster and marshal your resources because everybody else, all the first responders, are doing something else. So this is some information. It's geared more towards, first responders and stuff like that, maybe even CERT members. But I don't think that the average American should not know this. I think they should. I think everybody should know how this stuff works. I think that they should be aware of what's going down our rail lines and on our roads. Okay, this is Mountain Ghost 556 out.